Imagine you're an astronomer in 1977, sifting through endless pages of computer data from a giant radio telescope. It's mostly noise, the quiet static of the universe, but then you see it, a sequence of letters and numbers so powerful, so unusual, it takes your breath away. It's a signal that perfectly matches what you'd expect from an alien intelligence. In a moment of pure shock, you grab a red pen, circle the code, and write one word in the margin. Wow. And then it's never heard from again. What if history is full of moments like this? Well, today I'm exploring 5 of the biggest historical mysteries that remain completely, stubbornly unsolved. Hey, I'm Michael and welcome to Hoodie History. It's great to have you here. Let's explore 5 historical mysteries so baffling that we're still scratching our heads about them today and wondering, what? These aren't just unsolved cases, they're puzzles with missing pieces that have stumped the greatest minds for centuries. Just before we dive in, if you're into all things history, that's what Hoodie History is all about. I share incredible stories from the past, from all over the world, with new videos dropping regularly. If that sounds good to you, subscribe and stick around for more. Alright, let's start with this question. How can a large ancient civilization with up to 1 million people and cities more advanced than many in the ancient world just disappear? That's exactly where our first story begins. Mystery number 1. The vanishing of the Indus Valley Civilization. Okay, our first mystery is one of the biggest vanishes in human history. While Egypt was building pyramids, another civilization, the Indus Valley people, were building massive, highly advanced cities across what is now Pakistan and India. And these weren't just any cities. Mohenjo-daro was a masterpiece of urban planning with a street grid that would make modern city planners jealous. And get this, they had the world's first known sanitation systems. We're talking private flushing toilets in individual homes that connected to a city-wide sewer network. Their engineering was, in some ways, more advanced than what Rome had 1,000 years later. At its peak, this civilization was home to hundreds of thousands of people, possibly over 1 million across the entire region. They were a powerhouse, and then in 1800 BCE, they just disappeared. The cities were abandoned, the streets fell silent, and an entire culture faded into dust. So what happened? That's the mystery. For years, everyone assumed a massive war or invasion, but archaeologists have found no signs of it. No burned cities, no mass graves. So, what about a natural disaster? A giant earthquake? Maybe, but that wouldn't wipe out a civilization spread over such a vast area. The leading theory is climate change. A massive, centuries-long drought could have dried up the rivers they depended on, forcing them to abandon their cities. It's a solid theory, but it doesn't explain the most frustrating part of this puzzle, their writing. The Indus Valley people left behind thousands of artifacts with their unique, elegant script, but we can't read a single word. Top linguists and even AI have tried and failed to crack the code. Without their writing, we have no records, no history, no explanation from them about their own fate. Imagine if tomorrow every major city in your country was found empty. No bodies, no signs of struggle, just silence. That's what happened to the Indus Valley people, and we still have no idea why. And then, silence. Mystery number 2. The Voynich Manuscript. Now, what if the mystery isn't that we lost the words? What if the mystery is that we found them, but they're in a language that shouldn't exist? From a civilization that left no decipherable words, let's turn to a book that's all words, but words no one on Earth can understand. Meet the Voynich Manuscript. Picture holding this book in your hands, the vellum pages soft with age, the mysterious ink still vivid after 600 years. You can almost feel the weight of its secrets as you turn each incomprehensible page. It's a 15th century book about the size of a paperback, filled with bizarre and beautiful illustrations. There are plants that don't exist in nature, strange astronomical charts, and pages of naked figures bathing in weird green interconnected pools. It's weird, it's wonderful, and it's completely baffling. But the real mystery is the text itself. It's written in a unique language that has never been seen anywhere else. Over 400 symbols form what looks like a real language. It has sentence structure, an alphabet, and follows patterns that suggest it's genuine. There's just one problem: it's uncrackable. And I don't mean just hard, I mean the best code breakers in the world, the guys who cracked the German Enigma code in World War II, took a look at this and walked away defeated. Even modern cryptographers with supercomputers have failed. It's resisted every single attempt at translation for over a century. So what is it? Some believe it's an unbreakable code hiding forbidden knowledge. Others think it's a lost natural language. And of course, some think it's just an incredibly elaborate and brilliant hoax, created to fool a rich collector back in the 1400s. But even if it is a hoax, the creator might have been a genius because the text is too complex and consistent to be just random scribbles. Who wrote it? Why was it made? And what does it say? The Voynich Manuscript is history's ultimate locked room mystery in book form. And then, silence. Mystery number 3, the wow signal. Now for the story that I teased in the intro, the 72-second message that might have come from another world. It's August 15, 1977. An astronomer at Ohio State, Jerry Ehman, is reviewing data from the Big Ear radio telescope, which was part of the SETI program, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. He's looking at a computer printout of radio signals from deep space. Suddenly, he sees it, a signal so strong, so clear, it defies any natural explanation. For 72 seconds, the telescope picked up a narrow-band radio signal from the direction of the constellation Sagittarius. Its frequency was at 1420 MHz, a protected part of the spectrum known as the hydrogen line. This is exactly the frequency scientists predicted an alien civilization would use to say hello because it's based on the most common element in the universe. The signal was 30 times stronger than the background noise of space. It was the perfect candidate for an extraterrestrial beacon. Ehman was so stunned, he circled the data 6EQUJ5 and wrote "wow" in the margin. And here's the unbelievable mystery. In the decades since, we have searched the exact spot in the sky again and again with far more powerful telescopes, and we have found nothing. Absolute silence. All the easy explanations have been debunked. It wasn't a satellite, a military signal, or a reflection from Earth. Its signature just doesn't match anything man-made. So what was it? A fluke? A bizarre one-time cosmic event that we don't understand? Or was it a genuine targeted signal from an alien source that we just happened to overhear for 72 fleeting seconds? What if, in that 72-second window, an alien civilization was trying to make contact and we missed our chance? What if they're still out there, waiting for us to call back? The wow signal is the most compelling piece of evidence for alien intelligence ever recorded, and the fact that it never repeated makes it all the more haunting. And then, silence. Mystery number 4, the Sajama lines of Bolivia. People talk about the Nazca lines in Peru, but there's another set of geoglyphs that are more extensive, older, and even more mysterious. The Sajama lines of Bolivia. Etched into the ground over 3,000 years by an indigenous pre-Incan culture, this is a network of thousands of perfectly straight lines, some running for over 10 miles. They were created by scraping away the dark topsoil to reveal the lighter earth beneath. Together, this web of lines covers an area of 22,000 square kilometers, about the size of New Jersey. What makes them a true mystery is their impossible precision and their purpose. These lines are ruler straight, going over hills and rough terrain without deviating from their path. How they achieve this without a bird's eye view or modern tools is a puzzle in itself. But the real question is why? Some lines seem to connect sacred sites or villages, suggesting they were pilgrimage paths, but many others just seem to go nowhere. They shoot off across the landscape with no obvious destination. They don't form pictures like the Nazca lines. They are a pure, abstract network of lines. Were they astronomical markers, a giant map of underground water sources, a form of art for their gods? The sheer scale of the project suggests it was the central focus of their culture for generations. But their true purpose is locked in time, leaving us with these silent, ancient highways to nowhere. And then, silence. Mystery number 5, the location of Cleopatra's tomb. Our final mystery is one of history's greatest treasure hunts. Everyone knows Cleopatra, the last pharaoh of Egypt, lover of Caesar and Mark Antony, and one of the most powerful women in history. We all know how her legend ended in 30 BCE. Defeated by Rome, she and Antony took their own lives rather than be paraded through the streets as prisoners. Ancient writers like Plutarch tell us that the Roman victor Octavian granted her final wish to be buried alongside Antony in a magnificent tomb filled with treasures of gold, silver, and jewels. So here's the mystery. 2,000 years later, the final resting place of one of history's most famous figures has never been found. We can track down a 2,000-year-old shopping list from Pompeii, but we can't find the tomb of the woman who ruled the richest empire on Earth. It's like Cleopatra pulled off the ultimate disappearing act, even in death. But it's not for a lack of trying. Archaeologists have been searching for centuries. Part of the problem is that ancient Alexandria, where she died, has been hit by earthquakes and tsunamis, and much of it now lies under the Mediterranean Sea. But the leading search today, led by archaeologist Kathleen Martinez, has moved to a temple complex called Taposiris Magna, about 30 miles outside the city. Her theory is that Cleopatra, who considered herself the living embodiment of the goddess Isis, would have wanted to be buried in a temple dedicated to Isis's husband, Osiris. For over 15 years, they've been digging. They found tunnels, statues, and coins with Cleopatra's face. They found all the signs that they are in the right place, but the tomb itself remains elusive. Finding it would be bigger than discovering the tomb of King Tut. It would be the final chapter for a woman who has fascinated the world for millennia. For now, history's most wanted tomb remains history's most wanted secret. And then, silence. A vanished civilization, an unreadable book, a signal from the void, lines drawn to nowhere, and a lost queen's tomb. These 5 historical mysteries defy easy answers and force us to admit that there are some things we just don't know. These mysteries remind us that for all our technology, all our knowledge, the past still holds cards close to its chest. And maybe that's what makes history so fascinating. It's the ultimate puzzle where some pieces might be missing forever. So what do you think? Are these puzzles the universe left for us to solve? Or are they just gaps in the historical record that will never be filled? It makes you wonder what mysteries from our own time will baffle historians 1,000 years from now. Let me know what you think in the comments, which mysteries you found most unbelievable, or if you know of any others that deserve to be explored. If you enjoyed this journey into history's biggest question marks, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more fascinating stories from the past. And one last thing, if you're interested in shorter stories from history, I publish content frequently on my other channel, Hoodie History Shorts. You can check it out now to discover all kinds of punchy stories from history. There's a link here and in the video description. Thanks for watching. Until next time, remember that sometimes the best stories are the ones without an ending.